Hey, my name is Holly, and I make videos about weight loss and mindset and how you can apply these strategies to your life. Welcome to your 2024 weight loss blueprint. I'm going to give you the exact master plan that I'm going to use this year to lose the rest of the weight, which is about 120 pounds, that I need to lose before the end of the year, and how you can take these same strategies, apply them to your life, lose weight for good, and be your best self. The number one thing that I'm going to do this year to ensure my success in rapid weight loss naturally in 2024 is I am going to set a goal to walk about 30 miles per week, or at least 30 miles per week. And how am I going to achieve that? I have set a goal for myself that I am going to walk 4.3 miles per day, 7 days a week. That's just slightly over 30 miles in the week. And this is going to keep me on track for my weight loss. Walking has been extremely beneficial for me. I'm going to make an entire video on it, and I can prove to you that you can lose weight just with walking. No gym required, no heavy weights, no crazy workout classes, no bar classes, no any of that stuff. Just, it's as simple as walking, and you can do it too. Look out for that video in the future. The next thing I'm gonna do to lose the weight this year once and for all is stay within my calorie deficit. Now, I don't publicly discuss the calorie deficit that I'm personally in. There's so many places online that you can look that up. If you're interested in learning more, you can always DM me and we can discuss, but publicly on YouTube, I don't discuss that. But my plan is to stay within, if not under, my calorie deficit every single day, logging my calories every single day on the Chronometer app. Of course, there's other apps out there. MyFitnessPal is a big one too, but just logging my calories consistently, using my scales, using measuring cups and measuring spoons, and measuring my food and staying on track. That's going to help me massively this year, and it can help you too. The third thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to look for more opportunities for movement. Yes, I get my walk in every single day. I'm at a point in my walking where I can do just over 4 miles per hour. So in 60 minutes, I get at least 4 miles, which equates to just under 10,000 steps. Usually for me, it's like 9,500. Everybody's different. The Apple Watch has been extremely helpful for me. There's basic trackers out there. We have trackers on our phones if you carry your phone with you. It's that simple, guys, just to get those additional steps in. But I also park really far where I work, and I have to go through a couple of buildings and up to the 4th floor, and my office is at the back of the building. So I generally get about 1.5 miles to 2 miles in just from walking at work. And if I walk to other meetings in different buildings and things like that, there's obviously going to be more steps taken. But I'm going to also, take more opportunities. If I have some free time, maybe I can stretch, maybe I can do a yoga workout, maybe I can just walking around the house. I mean, there's so many opportunities, when you go around, hoovering or vacuuming the house, just doing house chores, whatever, just keeping in mind, how can I get more steps in? How can I do a little bit more, push it a little bit more, and see where that's going to get me at the end of the year. The next strategy that I will be implementing this year is more bulk in my food for less calories. What do I mean about that? It's as simple as adding more vegetables to your meals, maybe cutting out, extra rice and doing half the amount of rice and adding in cauliflower rice to half of that. Or instead of having, a huge baked potato, having a smaller baked potato, but then having a pack of frozen veggies on the side. Or when you have that rice, put extra frozen veggies on top of it. Or, with my lunches, bring fruit instead of, munching on that packet of crisps or chips or whatever you would have with your lunch. Having those extra vegetables, cutting up, cucumbers and tomatoes. That's one of my favorites. I just make a cucumber tomato salad. It's so simple. I just cut up, a decent sized cucumber, a decent sized tomato. I put a couple tablespoons of red wine vinegar and a little bit of salt. You're looking at less than 100 calories. It's full of water, it's full of fiber, it's full of bulk, and it keeps me really full, and I love how it tastes. So implementing little things like that will definitely help my calories go further. Next on my list, which is a little unconventional of sorts, is I'm setting a goal for myself to pretty much only consume content, whether it be YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, books, podcasts, etc., about self-development, whether that's in weight loss, habits, changing my mindset, whatever it is. I'm going to set a goal for myself to only consume those pieces of content for the year. Remember, weight loss is a very small, incremental amount of time. For me, it's 1 year. And this isn't going to be for the rest of my life. This isn't something that I have to think, oh gosh, I have to do this for the next 10, 20 years. No, this is only for this year. But I'm going to make sure that my mind is always thinking about, how can I make this habit better for weight loss? How can I improve this for weight loss? How can I get myself further? That's my plan for this year. Another maybe more unconventional way to help with my weight loss, and that you can use too, is to meditate. I personally love the Headspace app. It has been so helpful for me. One of my goals, just in a personal way, is to quit overthinking things and to not say the first thing that comes out of my mouth. And honestly, meditation has been so incredibly helpful with that. It helps me to take a step back, be in my own mind for a little bit before saying something that may hurt somebody, or just being reactive. It's more about being more mindful and thinking, is this gonna help me right now? And I'm going to do that by meditating for as little as 3 minutes a day. I love the Headspace app. It has meditations for everything from finance to food to overthinking to fears to anxiety to sleep to you name it, they have it. They go from everything from a 3-minute meditation up to probably, I think 500 minutes is the longest ones that I've seen on there. Now, obviously, you're not going to do that in one go. That's like 8 hours, but that's more for like the sleep ones. I listen to different nature sounds to help me sleep at night. But just something as small, a habit as small as 3 minutes of meditation a day is massive. And it helps you to think things through a little bit better, to make better decisions, to have better relationships, to sleeping better, improving health in all areas. 3 minutes a day, give it a shot, and let me know how you come out. Next on my list is prioritizing sleep. Sleep is a non-negotiable for me, and it's been that way for years. I personally, in my normal 9-to-5 job, if you will, it's not really 9 to 5 for me, it's more like 6 to 2, or sometimes longer. I prioritize sleep. So I wake up at 4:30 in the morning. Crazy, I know. I get to work by 6 a.m. just because it's nice and quiet and I love it. But I prioritize my sleep. I have a wind down routine. I have perfected that. I'm extremely proud of it. I've done it for years. I love getting up early, and I always try to get at least 8 hours of sleep a night. Sometimes it's 9 hours. It just depends on the day. I have a bedtime that's anywhere between 7:30 p.m. and 9 p.m. And I always feel better when I get to bed around that 8:30 time point and wake up around 4:30. And it's been massive for me. There are so many studies that have been done that prioritizing sleep helps with weight loss. It helps lower those cortisol levels. It helps your mind. It helps you make better decisions. It helps with your hunger. It helps suppress ghrelin and the hormones that make us hungry. So definitely going to prioritize sleep this year. Something new for me that I've wanted to do for many, many years is journaling. Now, I'm not going to be able to sit here and journal for pages and pages and pages. I know people that do morning pages. That's a goal of mine eventually, but as James Clear says, we have to start with small 1% incremental habits. So to start that habit, I'm going to journal for 1 sentence a day. I'll give myself the year to do that. And if you have the latest update on the iPhone that just came out around 1st of January this year, 2024, it has a new journaling app, and I am in love. It's got prompts in there if you want it. You can set a schedule. You can have reminders set for you. You can just freeball it and just write whatever. And like I said, they will give you prompts based on what you've done that day. So if you worked out, or you had walking minutes or what have you, it'll prompt you, hey, do you want to write about the workout that you had today that was 60 minutes long from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., something along those lines. So it's extremely helpful, and I'm sure Android or any other phone has something similar. If not, good old pen and paper, guys. Nothing wrong with it. Just a lined notebook, nothing fancy. You don't need to go out and get some crazy expensive journal. Just start with 1 sentence a day. That's what I'm doing, and I'm gonna see how I get on with it. So I know that's gonna help me massively, just kind of brain dumping. I find when I'm able to just write something out, it helps me. And also it's gonna help me remember my weight loss journey, because this is a one and done thing. Unless I have, a kid and I gain some weight along that journey, I'm never going back to where I was. I'm never going to go up to 350 pounds ever again. And this is going to be a way to reflect. And so I can remember it in years to come. So that's another thing that I'm going to implement this year. Another thing that I'm working on, and I've been working on this since last year, starting in September, is working on my mindset. Now that can mean things like affirmations. Those have been so helpful for me. Listening to manifestation, subliminal type things, which I know that sounds a little woo-woo or a little strange, but it's kind of just, you sit there, for instance, if you're working on something, or if you're cleaning the house, or even if you're reading something, you sit there, and there's certain YouTubers who make subliminal messages. I'll link one below that I really, really like. And they're kind of speaking in the background. You're not really listening to them, but manifestations are so powerful. And instead of sitting there and saying them to yourself, the person in the background, you hear some sort of a nature sound that's like in the foreground, but in the background, somebody's speaking, and it's speaking to your subconscious level, which is very, very powerful. That's a big thing that I believe in, that's helped me so much with weight loss and so many other areas of my life. But that's one thing that I do, is I set an alarm about 30 minutes before I'm going to go to bed, and I put my AirPods in, and I listen to the subliminal messages while I read a book, because all screens are off at this point. And so I'm just, not even actively listening, because you're not supposed to be like, oh, what are they saying? You just play it in the background and let it go, and it speaks to your subconscious level. But doing something like that, so far, I've only been doing that for about a week now, and it's been so powerful for me, and it's something that I'm going to continue. Also, saying my affirmations, that is a big thing for me, just in visualization, and it helps with my self-improvement. I'm working on my mindset. To me, that's probably 60% of the weight loss, and the rest is diet and exercise. Mindset, in my opinion, is the biggest component to weight loss, and it's helped me so, so much. Never in my nearly 40 years of life have I been able to lose weight with just diet and exercise, until I had the mindset component come in. And remember, that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here to help you guys on. And if that interests you, follow me for more, subscribe, and like this video, because then I will be able to make more content for people that are interested. So stay tuned. Another area of my life that I'm going to improve this year is to not get hung up on more recipes. And think about it like this. How many times have you signed up for a meal plan, or more recipes, or a recipe book from someone on YouTube, and you thought, oh gosh, this is the thing that's going to help me lose weight? Obviously it hasn't, or you probably wouldn't be here right now, and I wouldn't be here right now. I've downloaded so many recipe books, and they never did anything for me. So my plan for this is to come up with 4 or 5 core meals that I know that I like, that are quick, fast, easy, cheap, and I can get them made within minutes, so that I know when I come home starving, I have something that I can eat, and I'm not tempted to drive through and pick up food that I definitely shouldn't be eating. I shouldn't be spending my money on, because let's face it, we're all trying to save money right now, right? With the way the economy is. And it's something that I can keep in the fridge, the freezer. I'm not huge on meal prep. I don't have a whole lot of extra time, so it needs to be something that's done and it's easy for me. An example of this that I love to have is instant rice, or even just regular rice. I throw it in the Instant Pot, I set it, I go get my shower after work. The rice is done and it's made and ready to go by the time I'm done with my shower. I come out and I'm able to get some of the rice. I get a frozen pack of veg. I either make some kind of a sauce, or I have pre-made sauces that I can add, maybe add some beans or a little bit of tofu, and dinner is made. And it's within minutes, and I don't have to think about it. Or another thing is steaming up potatoes and having those in the fridge ready to go. I would say that's the one meal prep thing that I will do occasionally. But again, that's like on a weekend day, when I'm home, and I can just throw the potatoes, wash them up, throw them in the pot, the Instant Pot, set it, forget it, let it go, And then when they're done, I put them in a container and put them in the fridge, and they're good to go. And you can do so many things with that. You can add, a protein of choice, or vegetables, or beans, or whatever you want. And it's ready to go. Like I said, throw some frozen vegetables in there. One and done. Cheap, easy, done. Something else that I'm trying to work on is drinking more water. I've struggled with this, I think, for a long time. I know there's so many benefits to water in terms of weight loss, and I'm ready to jump on that train. So my plan is to drink as much water as I can. I'm not going to go crazy with it, and I'm not going to set like, oh, I'm going to drink 3 liters a day or a gallon a day or anything like that. Just try and up it a little bit more. Again, I go back to James Clear. What's something that you can do that will improve by 1% every day? Drinking a little bit extra water. For me, that's just, taking a few extra sips. Maybe it's 1 extra cup of water a day, whatever it's going to be. But that's the next thing on my list. The next thing that goes hand in hand with the mental mindset game is prioritizing self-care. And what that looks like for me is, one thing that I absolutely adore are bubble baths. So after I do my walk, if it's on the weekends, or after I get home from work and do my walk, I take a really quick, cool shower, and then I take, as long as I want, relaxing hot bubble bath. Whether it's Lush bubble bars that I love, or just a simple bubble bath, whatever. I don't even care, it could be body wash. Just taking that time, sitting in the bath, reading a good book, relaxing, focusing on me, because this is about me, and not thinking about the external noise going on in the world, not thinking about work, not thinking about what I need to do next. Just taking that time. That has turned into one of the best things for me, because it gives me 2 things that I love: reading and a bubble bath. And it's so relaxing, and it helps relax me for the evening. It helps me get a good night's sleep, and I highly recommend it. If you're not a bath person, there's so many other things out there that you can do. If you love to read, sit on the couch with a cozy blanket and read. Drink a hot tea. I made a vanilla lavender iced latte. It was so good. And it was very little calories. I think only maybe 30 calories because I used almond milk. So whatever it is to you that's some sort of act of self-care, maybe taking a nap, going for just a leisurely walk, not like a fitness walk, something like that, being out in nature. Maybe for you it's taking a short drive and just, being alone with your thoughts. Whatever it is, prioritize that self-care this year. Next on my list is vision boarding. This is new for me. I personally have used Pinterest. I also save a lot of photos to my photo app on the iPhone, and looking at them every single day. I look at them for at least 5 minutes a day. If I see something new, I add it, and I just really look at it and think in my mind and visualize. I also take the time to visualize, you guys. Where am I going to be in a year? What do I want to be? Who am I going to be? What am I going to be wearing? That's the biggest thing for me. What am I going to wear? How's my health going to be? What am I going to do? Am I going to be able to fit in an airplane seat, if I want to go travel somewhere? Am I going to be able to make it on this hike, wherever it is I'm going to go? Whatever it is for you, highly recommend starting a vision board. And I think Pinterest is the most sustainable and easiest way to get started, so you don't feel overwhelmed with having to buy, magazines, or cutting things up, sitting on the floor, making a mess, pasting things, what have you. Or if you don't want to do Pinterest, you can just go on the internet, search stuff, or if something, rings true to you, saving it on your photo app on your phone and going to it every single day, sitting down for, let's say, 5 minutes a day, whatever it is, maybe right before you go to bed, visualizing these things over and over and over and over again, so that your brain starts to realize that this is a reality, because our brains don't know the difference between real life and not real life. So just think about that. The next thing on my list is to cut out even more processed foods. So I do eat bread from time to time. I'm a mostly vegan, occasional vegetarian. So there's certain things that I can definitely cut out that are more processed. I don't buy chips, cookies, crackers, candies, any of that stuff. I don't eat it at all. I don't have it in my house. It's helped me so much. Environment is so huge, you guys. If you don't have it in the house, you will not eat it. If you have kids or a spouse or a partner or other family members that you live with, and they have to have those foods, have them lock them up somewhere. I'm not even kidding you. Get them out of your space, get them out of your line of vision, get them out of where you think, oh, let me go in here and take a couple of these. Get it out of your house. If you don't have it, you're not going to want it. You're not going to be thinking about it. You're not going to go out and get it. The last thing I want to do is go outside, and it's been snowing, so definitely don't want to go outside and get in my car and drive somewhere and have to go buy something. It's not going to happen. Even though there's a Kroger literally right across the road from where I live, I'm not going to do it. So try and implement that and see if it doesn't help your weight loss massively this year. Another thing that I'm going to get more serious about and do is tracking my progress. So I have been really good about tracking my weights. I weigh myself every Wednesday morning when I wake up, and I keep a track of that. But I want to get more into a monthly photo or a short video of me walking towards the camera, just so I could see myself, so that, in a year's time, 10 years time, 20 years time, whatever, I can see, wow, I really came a long, long way, and I'm never going to go back to that. I also want to get into measurements. So I bought a tape measure years ago for this purpose. I just still haven't done it yet. But I want to implement once a month, taking that tape measure out, measuring, my arms, my legs, my stomach, my chest, etc., just to see where I'm at, and to know that sometimes if the scale doesn't always show progress, that I can see it in other ways. So that's something new that I'm going to implement, and if you do too, let me know how it works out. Something else that I'm going to continue this year, and it's honestly for budgeting purposes as well as for calorie purposes, is I'm not going to be eating out. I hardly ever eat out. I only eat out if I'm with another person, and that's not rare that I'm with other people, but it's rare that we go out to eat. And just making better decisions. But I'm not, when it's just me, I no longer eat out. I don't drive a certain route home that hits up all the fast food restaurants or the salad place that I absolutely love. It's not happening for me this year. And that's going to massively help me reach my goals, because as we know, there's always more salt, fat, calories, etc. in fast foods and foods out, because they're not measuring the kinds of things like we would, like the salt intake, the oils, etc. So definitely going to be using that to help me stay on track this year. I'm also going to try to stretch more. I've really implemented a good practice into after every single walk that I do, I stretch for about 7 or 8 minutes. I have certain stretches that I've implemented. I want to do some more research on more that I can do and add more stretching into my routine. It's helped me massively. I have had scoliosis obviously my entire life. It's not severe, but I have had back issues my entire life. I go to the chiropractor, and I have found from stretching and from what he has told me that I'm doing so well with it that instead of me going to the chiropractor to see him 2 or 3 times a week, I now only go once every 2 to 3 months. It's amazing. And he can see the difference, and he wouldn't tell me anything otherwise if he didn't really think I needed it. But stretching has been massive for me. There's so many benefits to stretching. It's also relaxing. I think of it as a way of self-care. The main goal that I'm trying to get at this year, the number one goal, if anything, is consistency. That's all. Whether it's a 1% consistency, maybe building, adding a little bit more every day or every week, whatever it is, in any of the goals that I've mentioned, I am going to get more consistent. I'm not going to peter out and just say, well, I missed a day, so I'm going to miss the whole week. That mentality has totally left my brain. So I'm hoping that you can use that in your master plan this year and see how far that takes you, because it's going to take you really far, I promise. This is going to be the year of me, the year of Holly, the year of romanticizing my life, romanticizing weight loss, romanticizing the fact that I can do this. It's for a year. It's a very short amount of time. I'm actually now at less than a year at this point at the rate I'm going. But this is the year of me, and I hope you make this the year of you, where you don't worry about what other people think, what other people say. There's constant noise around us. With my job, I'm in management, and we have a lot of management meetings, and they provide food. I never eat the food. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't ask. I always bring my own food. And the somewhat annoying part about that I've gotten past Is it, I always have somebody making a comment, oh, there's Holly with her food again. Why aren't you eating this? Can we buy you something that you'll eat? And it goes on and on and on. And it used to bother me in the beginning, but now I just don't give an F. This is for me. I'm not doing it for Sally, for John, for whoever. I'm doing this for me. And once you get that mentality through your head, it's going to help you massively. So just don't think about anybody else, what they're saying. Don't think about the noise. Do this for you. The other thing is maybe keeping your goals to yourself. I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but I don't know if you want to say made the mistake of telling my parents what my goal is, my goal weight, my dare to dream goal weight, if you will. And my mom make you comment like, you're going to look like death. Like, why would you do that? That's going to be terrible. Don't do that. You know, it may bother me for about a minute. And then I thought, you know what, this is for me. I'm going to see how far I can go, how far I can get. If I get to a certain point and yeah, I look like crap, then I'm not going to move on with it, or if I'm in an unhealthy weight. But my goal is to get in the middle of the healthy BMI range. I really don't care what other people say. This is my journey, not anybody else's, and this is your journey too. The next thing I'm going to do is write out my goals. I have an old-fashioned notebook here. I just write my goals out on it, and I keep a tally of them. And this is not something that I've ever done in the past before. I feel like coupling this with, my visualization, my vision board, my affirmations, and doing all the things. It may sound like a lot, it's really not. This is something that takes probably 30 minutes out of my day. If you can't spare 30 minutes out of your day, then I definitely don't envy your life. I feel like even if you have kids and a spouse, you can absolutely do all of these things in 30 minutes a day. Now, of course, this is outside of the walking, but if you have 30 minutes a day to do your visualization, your manifestations, you're looking at your vision board, writing your goals down, taking 30 seconds, if a minute, to write one sentence down every day to consider as you're journaling for the day. These are all small things that may seem incremental. Again, I go back to James Clear and his book, Atomic Habits. If you have not read it, please, please, please read it. Go down to the link below, look it up on Amazon. You may even be able to find it as a free PDF somewhere. Go listen to an audiobook. Look up countless YouTube videos with James Clear. He is an amazing, amazing human being. And just doing the smallest things that maybe in your mind you think, oh, this isn't going to do anything for me a year from now. You're absolutely wrong. Just do it and see where it gets you. Be a scientist. Use this as data. It's all data. Just pretend that you're a scientist. You're recording data. The way I think of it is, prior to this, all the things that I did before, which was almost nothing, by the way, it got me nowhere. Nothing's changed. And we all know that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again. So I decided to break that cycle, and I'm trying these different things. And so far, they're massively helping me. I've lost over 30 pounds in less than 3 months, and I'm going to continue on until I lose the 150 pounds. Next thing is, I'm going to keep going no matter what. People make videos about how the middle of weight loss is the hardest bit, and I feel like I'm in there, but I don't feel stuck, because I just keep going and telling myself, just get a little bit better today, get a little bit better today. It's always about today, the present. I don't worry about tomorrow. I only concern myself with the 24 hours in front of me today. And I use all my numbers as data. My weight on the scales, even if it goes up a little bit. If it goes up a little around my period, it's data. If I have some kind of crazy, like a 5 or 6 pound weight loss, it's data. I don't go celebrating and saying, oh, I deserve this, I deserve that. I just keep going, because in my mind, I have 1 year to complete this weight loss journey of mine, and I never have to do it again. I just want to get it out of the way, be done with it for my life, so I can live my dream life. And I know you can too. So try to detach from, like I said before, other people's attitudes, what they're saying to you, how you think they make you feel, overthinking everything. Quit the overthinking, quit listening to the noise. Just focus, and I'm telling you, in 6 months to a year, however long your weight loss journey is for you, you can do this. You don't have to let this drag on for the rest of your life. I promise you. Just give it 6 months to a year. Again, depending on how much weight you have to lose, you can do this. Just detach from everything else for this amount of time and buckle down and get this done. I know you can do it. I have the confidence in you. You can do this. Let's do this together. The next part of my master plan is to once a month reflect on my progress. That doesn't necessarily have to be, the numbers on the scales or the measurements that I plan to take with the tape measure. It could be looking back at the journal entries I've had with the minimum of 1 sentence each, trying to figure out where have I come? What clothes am I fitting in? What am I wearing now? How am I acting? Where am I going? What am I doing? Here's some of my non-scale victories. I actually had a pretty damn big non-scale victory this past December when I went to Colorado to visit my family for Christmas. I fit in the airplane seat. I actually fit with room to spare. I had a good, 5 or so inches of seatbelt left instead of having it so tight I could barely buckle it. There were times where I was just too embarrassed. I didn't want to ask for a seatbelt extender in the past. So I would just have, it was so tight. And now to have that amount of room, I mean, it was just life-changing. It's life-changing, let me tell you. It's the most amazing thing. So that is, to me, is motivation to keep going with what I'm doing. But I want to be able to reflect on that, reflect back on issues that I've had during this weight loss journey and think to myself, how would myself now handle that situation? How would I be able to handle that now that I've been through it? And would I have done something differently? And maybe that's, a good starting point for the journaling. Thinking how I would handle a problem and write it out, and taking just a couple minutes a day. You don't have to sit there for 30, 40 minutes a day, or, people that do the morning pages, like, God bless, like, good on them. I want to get to that point. But for now, just doing 1 sentence a day. I'm starting with 1 sentence a day. And if I build upon that and I add more, all the better. But to me, just the 1 sentence a day is good enough. The last part of this blueprint master plan to weight loss in 2024 is to think of discipline as devotion, because devotion feels light, it feels airy, it feels easy. I'm not going to I'm not going to white knuckle what I need to do and discipline myself or tell myself, you can't have that, Holly, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. Think of it as a devotion to you, a devotion to your health, a devotion to your mindset, a devotion to your family, if you will. If you're doing this to extend years on your life, to extend your health, to just be a better person, there's no better time to start than now. It's the fresh start to a year. I know that it's cringy or whatever that people start at the beginning of the year, but it really is a fresh start, and it feels really, really good, you guys. I mean, you don't have to start on a Monday. You don't have to start on the first of the year. We're already, in the second week of the year of January coming up now, and you can start anytime. If you're looking at this video, I don't care if it's like December 1st of 2024 or whatever, you can start today. I started my journey on September 20th of 2023, and I've gotten myself this far, and I'm going to keep going. But I'll be honest, the beginning of the year just feels like a fresh start, and I feel adding all these extra things into it, this is going to be my year. This is going to be the best year yet. And working on myself and finally losing the weight, this is the way to go. And if you guys are interested in that, you want to learn more, give my video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below, follow me on Instagram at Less of Holly. Let's chat about it, guys. I'd love to hear from you. Look forward to more videos in the future, and I'll see you soon. Bye.